Action.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna get started in a minute. Give me a second. Welcome to the Divine Feminine Code. I am Shamora Sheikh. So now we are moving on to number 5, self-care. And self-care is like the catchphrase for like 2018. Sometimes women see self-care as, and that's fine. You'll get your hair done, you get your nails done, but it's so much deeper than that. Okay, so the first part of self-care is knowing when to rest. And I say this to myself before I say this to anybody else because I'm very much a creative. And when ideas are being downloaded to me, it's coming at such a rate and it feels so urgent to get it all out there and make it all happen. And because I feel like almost if I don't do it and I don't do it fast enough, then I'm going to lose it. It's going to disappear. And I'm getting so many more ideas at such a fast rate that I'm trying to, get one out the way so I can get to the next one and work on it. So a lot of times, and then I'm doing all this in between, being a wife, mothering, being a mother, sister, friend, all of these things. And running my business. So I often do not rest. I'll push myself and push myself. A lot of my greatest work I do in the midnight or the wee hours of the morning. And I've had to learn to kind of take breaks. I'll go for a couple of nights and then I'll take breaks and then go to bed on time for a couple of nights and then I'll just, cycle through. So knowing when to rest, okay? So that you can replenish yourself. B, go home often. Oh, I love this. This is a quote from Women Who Runs with the Wolves. It says, home is an internal place, a place somewhere in time rather than space, where a woman feels of one piece. Home is where a thought or feeling can be sustained instead of being interrupted or torn away from us because something else is demanding our time and attention. And through the age, women have found myriad ways to have this, make this for themselves, even when their duties and chores were endless. And that's page 307 in Women Who Run with the Wolves. So I love this idea of homing, of going home. And it's not, it doesn't mean actually going back. It could be meaning going home to like where you grew up or your parents' house, but it doesn't technically mean that. Home, as I said, is like, somewhere in time rather than in space. It's not a physical space. It's somewhere in time that it takes you back to a memory almost, where a woman feels of one piece. So for me, things that take me home, and I had to think about this, like, what is it? What activities do I do that make me feel of one piece, that make me feel whole, and it take me back to this place of like just nurturing and safety and security. And for me, one of those is tea time. So every time I prepare a cup of tea and I'm preparing, I'm pouring that tea, I go home. Belly dance. Every time I teach a belly, I could be so tired. I could have had a horrible day, but I will teach that class to the T. And I always pull myself together to do that. It's easy because it's going home for me. It replenishes my spirit. It feeds my creativity. So figure out what that is for you and make sure you have it as a regular part. It should be a regular rhythm of your life, a regular part of your day. Tea is something I do every day. Belly dance is something I do every day. I teach 2 classes out of the week. When I'm not teaching, I'm preparing for the class. I always tell the women, practice your belly rolls when you're driving, when you're at a stoplight. When you're in the shower, practice your belly rolls. When you're, trying to open the door with your hip, you're practicing your hip lifts and stuff. So it's really implemented, interwoven into the fabric of your life. It's not just something you do just in class at this one time. So in that way, basically, you're going home almost in every movement that you make when you're a belly dance or when you're learning belly dance. So find what home is for you with that time that you bring yourself back to, that centers you, that grounds you, and make sure you do that often. So that is the 5th habit of self-care. Oh, then the other one is cry. And I think that oftentimes crying is seen, especially from women, as manipulative or weak. But you need to cry. Tears are part of the mending of rips in the psyche where energy has leaked and leaked away. That's page 437 of Women Who Run with the Wolves. And I'll read it one more time. Tears are part of the mending of rips in the psyche, where energy has leaked and leaked away. So tears are part of a mending of healing. Okay, it's almost like a cleansing, a baptism. Okay, tears are protection from negative energy. Tears are a river that take you somewhere. Page 404. She said, tears are a river that take you somewhere. So, they cleanse you so that you can prepare and go into the next upper or higher cycle, right? Energy cycle. So you may have, had a loss, a death. You may be grieving. That's okay. Those tears are preparing you and cleansing you and getting you prepared for the upcycle. Okay. For women, tears are the beginning of initiation into the Scar clan, that timeless tribe of women of all colors, all nations, all languages, who down through the ages have lived through a great something, and yet who stood proud and still stand proud. So, tears are your initiation. It's okay to cry. It's part of self-care to cry. Release on an ongoing basis, because you don't want to keep that stuff bottled up and letting it fester inside and then manifest itself as an illness in your body or as a dis-ease. Okay, so that is self-care. We're moving on to number 6. We're just moving right on. I almost forgot your letters. So I gave you Jon, and the next letter is G. I'm going to give you 2 letters because I skipped one. I was supposed to. Anyway, G and U. Okay, so now you have Jon, G, U. Yeah. Okay, so number 6 is sisterhood, tribe. That's another catchphrase that we've been hearing a lot. Is find your tribe. Okay, know who your sons are, and I don't mean S-O-N. I mean S-U-N. Know who your sons are. Friends who love you and have warmth for your creative life are the very best sons in the world. And that's page 350 of Women Who Run with the Wolves. Know who your sons are. Know who your friends are. There's different types of friends. The most valuable, the friends that you really want to have close to you are the ones who, when you're in that downward cycle, when you're experiencing that challenging part, or you're stuck in the mud, they're like, come on, girl, come on, get up. Here's some ideas. How can I help you? They don't try to save you, but it's like they'll inspire you, and they'll say, you know what, they'll give you a boost. How can I help you? They'll just show up. You don't have to ask them. They show up. They make your cup of tea. They get you up out of bed. They like, get dressed. We're going to the store. We're going to do this. We're gonna fix this room up. We're gonna, I'll watch the baby for 2 hours while you rest. Here's a dish. Here's a casserole, so that you don't have to worry about it. Those are your sons. Those are your friends. But then there's the other ones who will be like, oh, they'll listen to you. They'll be like, oh, really? Oh, you're so sad. Oh, so sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. I know that really sucks. And that's pretty much as far as it goes. And that's really, no. You want the friends who are going to inspire you and kind of light your fire and get you moving and going along. Those are the ones you want close to you, okay? Those are your sons. They have the warmth for your creative life. They see, your passion, and, they give you ideals. And they're like, have you tried this? Have you tried to do it? That's a friend, okay? You are born to one mother, but if you are lucky, you will have more than one. And that's page 193. So we talked about friends, but that's kind of more like a mentoring thing. So throughout life as women, we look for, those other mothers, and you will adopt mothers as you go. And if you haven't, then you should be looking around, adopt some mothers. Let some mothers adopt you. Because it's so important having that mentorship, having that tribe, having that sisterhood. Sisterhood, it increases your life chances. You will be healthier, you'll be happier, you will live longer because of sisterhood. Sisterhood is, it's like magical, for lack of better words. It's unconditional when you have true sisterhood. You go through so many stages of life. You'll go through so many cycles of up and down. But through all that, your sisters will be there. And then sometimes it's time to say goodbye to some people, but for the most part, they will sustain and be there. And it's almost like a system of nutrition or nourishment to your soul and to you, to have that. And so it's so important that we always, I have this saying that I say in belly dance class. I'm not going to say the whole mantra, but I say, my sister is my wealth. Okay. We start businesses together. We invest in each other. We're each other's therapists. We're each other's, confidence, everything, So, understanding sisterhood and the value and the importance of that. I often hear women say things like, I don't trust females. I only have male friends. Women this and that. And that's kind of a form of self-hate, because you are a woman. And you're really depriving yourself of one of the greatest wealths you can have. So, habit of the awakened woman, she has a tribe. She has a sisterhood, or she's building it. And number 7. So here we go. The last letter of the word is E, and I'll get into the word and definition in a minute, okay? So the last one is work. Work, 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 work. Work is work. Don't be afraid of the work. A lot of times I think, because we read so many like fairy tales and stuff, we're looking for that prince who's gonna sweep us off our feet and just, we can lay back and he's gonna, you're told, we get caught up in finding like the provider who's gonna like just pave it your way and make it all, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work. You just sit home and relax, whatever. We want the easy life. But work is what allows you to be the author of your own destiny. It makes your dreams come true. Don't be afraid of the work. Don't look. I tell my children, we have this mantra that we say when we're starting class, is that learning is a lifelong pursuit. It doesn't end. You're not just like, oh, I'm just taking these classes and reading these books till I get my diploma and then I'm done, or till I get my degree and then I'm done. Learning never stops. A degree does not stop your learning. So, it's the same thing with work, is that the work is your life force. It is the fuel for your dreams. So be careful looking for any outs from that, of, thinking that there's a time to lay back and that you're not, putting the fire into the furnace, or putting the wood into the fire and feeding it. Work builds your psyche, your psychic powers. And psychic powers are basically just your ability to process and sort information. And it builds your vast reserves. Beware of the promise for paradise, the easy life. Heal your addiction to fantasy. And that was something that was discussed very much throughout the book. Because, like I said, of the fairy tales and the fantasy life and the happily ever after, you create your happily ever after to a degree. You are the author of your destiny, but you have to be okay with creating that. So don't just drift. Don't be the drifter, drifting through life. Find your life purpose, find your gifts, reach your highest potential, reach self-actualization, and, do the work. You got to do the work. You got to do the inner work. You got to do the self-work. And anything that keeps you or takes you from that, and that's yourself, not really any outside, but intrinsically we take ourselves from that because we get lax, we get comfortable, no. All right. So habit of the initiated woman is that, or of the awakened woman, is that she understands the value and importance of work. The awakened woman knows the power of work. So first I'm going to go over the word. So the word is Jongue. It is a Wolof word. Wolof is a language of Senegal and West Africa. And Jongue, it is pronounced Jongue. And Jongue is known as the feminine arts. And that includes like the art of seduction. So, for example, bin-bins or jelly bellies or belly beads or waist beads that the women like to wear around their waist, that's part of the Jongue culture, okay? the burning of the resin or the incense. A lot of times the women make their own resin or incense, or they go out and buy them in the market. And it's like a whole market that's just catering to women, that caters to Jonge, the culture of Jonge, it's the art. So I just wanted to kind of like add that to your vocabulary and reconnect that tradition, because it takes us back to the motherland, and it's part of our femininity. So learn about the art of Jonge. Talk to your West African friends or your Senegalese friends, or when you make a trip back, sure you will see it. But just get you some belly beads, okay, and some lapas, the word. But I have a bonus, if you will, habit of the awakened woman, and that is knowing the place and the value of the masculine. Okay, especially when we're in a time of like feminism, and they're like the future is female, but the empowered woman, the initiated woman, the awakened woman knows the value and the place of the masculine. Okay, so the archetypal masculine falls into three categories, or fulfills three, and this is covered in the book The Women Who Run with the Wolves, and that is the gardener, the king, and the musician. Okay, so this is the role, not to be getting like into strict gender roles, but the role that like your husband or your man fulfills in your life as a woman. So the gardener, if you think about it, even if you look at the word husband, I love looking at etymology. The etymology of the word husband means one who tills the soil, cultivator. So I always said, oh, that's so, it's figurative, it's so powerful and so meaningful. Because if you think of the woman as the earth or the land, the receptive energy, the yin, and then he's tilling it, what does that mean in our lives? Like, so what does that mean in our relationships? So he should be the one to cultivate. Like, you are the fertile earth and soil, and with all these ideals and creativity, but he's the one who's making sure that the soil is healthy. He's tilling it. He's making sure the seeds are in right. He's fertilizing that soil. And that could be also mean like fertilizing, whether that's, the egg, the man fertilizing the egg, but he's fertilizing that soil. All that you do in the garden, that is like the masculine energy. That is often the role that the masculine plays in a relationship. So that is the gardener. And then we have the king. The king is the ruler, the warrior, the military, the security, the laws. He leaves a legacy. He inspires creativity and expansion. So whatever ideas you have, he's the role of the king in that. So what does that mean? He should be, it's kind of like, he expands your ideals. You may say, I came up with this ideal to build this new car or this new software or whatever. And he's like, okay, he takes it to the next level. All right. He supports, he takes it to the next level. He expands. All right. That's that yang, that masculine energy. That's an important role. You want to have that. And if you're not having that in your husband or your partner, or that role, that's not the energy, then it's like you want to say, oh, how can we get there? Okay, how can we cultivate that? And so that's the king. And then the musician makes it happen. So, and oftentimes feel like especially like with my husband, there are some things that just are magical to me. I'm like, he'll just have it done, and I'll be like, how did you do that? Or I'll try and do the same thing, and I'll keep hitting the wall, but he'll go through there and handle the same situation, and it just happens. And I'm like, that's because you have that masculine energy, and you're able to to do that. And I'm like, how do I, I'm still figuring out, studying, like trying to figure out how I can do that too. So yeah, the husband is the occupier, the tiller of the soil, the cultivator, the manager. And when I looked at the etymology of the word wife just means woman. So you are by definition, you are. It's like be and you are. He carries the ability, the masculine or the man, he carries the ability to take inner knowing out into the world and put it into practice without mincing, muttering, or apologizing. And that's a quote. So inner knowing being the woman, or the yin or the feminine. So he has the ability to take that inner knowing, that femininity, out into the world and put it into practice. Okay. So whatever it is that, that you're trying to accomplish, or that you're striving for, he can take it that much further out into the world, and really be a manager of it. And then for the next one, I say the Maj assists a woman's ability, and the Maj meaning musician. The Maj assists a woman's ability to become whatever she wishes and to portray herself as she wishes at any given moment. So I'm going to say it again: assist a woman's ability to become whatever she wishes and to portray herself as she wishes at any given moment. Because he's like the guard or the guardian. So I mean, you could take a beautiful woman, put her out there, you know, say just she could stand out in the middle. It could be in the middle of the mall, wherever, and I mean there probably will be all kinds of things happening. But when she's standing there, with her man, um, it's a different energy. It's somewhat of a protection, and she can move in ways that she probably wouldn't even normally be able to move had she not had him like there by her side as that support and that bouncer and that guardian and all that. So know the value and the place of the masculine. So important, and study your jonge, the African feminine art, the African art of femininity. And I guess that is the Divine Feminine Code. That is 1 through 7 with a bonus, the 8th one being the bonus. And I'm going to leave a promo code somewhere so you guys look for it, so that you can go to the website, Rites of Passage Institute, at passageinstitute.com. And anything you get in the store, you can get a discount. I appreciate your time. This event was a preparation for, and is the preparation for, the Yoni Renewal Weekend that we have coming up June 2nd and 3rd. That's a Saturday and Sunday, in which we'll be having a Yoni egg workshop, Yoni size, foraging for women's wellness, and Yoni steaming event with henna and all of that, women's wellness, you name it. So come and refresh, do that self-care, be that awakened woman, find your tribe, find your sisterhood. Come and get your tickets at passageinstitute.com for the Yoni Renewal event.